I love this movie. I'm Tim Heidecker, and you're watching On Cinema at the Cinema. Quiet on set! It's On Cinema at the Cinema with me, your host, Tim Heidecker. Hi, everybody. This is Tim Heidecker, the host of On Cinema at the Cinema. Welcome to the season premiere, Season 7, as we're calling it, Lucky Season 7. Lucky Season 7, and thank you for joining us again, where we talk about movies and all sorts of other media, as you'll see soon. My guest today, welcome back to the show, is Greg Turkington here, who,
hey
Greg,
guys.
Thank you very much for coming back and being a part of the On Cinema legacy.
I didn't think I'd be back this season, so it's kind of a trip to be here.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a wild ride.
I had to put aside Our Cinema for fans of Our Cinema that were wondering when that show was going to debut. We had a deal in place with ABC. There were some sticking points, I have to say, that weren't favorable. So I decided, let's worry about that another year and let's get back to On Cinema so that we can keep those reviews coming.
And a lot of people were wondering, I know you were upset, a lot of people were upset about the way I handled your collection. And we've spoken about it. I feel like it's water under the bridge for us, but some of the viewing audience might not understand. I believed in my heart that what I was setting aflame was dubs of those movies, because I never in my million years believed that you were not truly dubbing tapes as you were in the scene. So,
but they were in video boxes.
Well,
like I wouldn't dub it and put it in a new box. It doesn't make sense.
You've explained that to me a number of times, and I get it now. And I apologize to you.
I will say this much, that at the time when Tim destroyed my collection, which is not a cool thing to do.
No.
You wouldn't go into the Louvre with a flamethrower and destroy all those great paintings, but you did do that with, I think at that time, one of the biggest collections in North America. I was upset. I'm over it now. The good news is, and I can reveal this now to the public for the first time, one of the fans of our shows tipped me off about a video shop in Victorville, California, up in the desert, that decided to discontinue the VHS format and rent only DVDs. For the past few years, these tapes have been in storage, in a storage locker in Victorville, gathering dust. The owner got tired of paying the fees for the storage locker and turned it over to me as a gift. And now I own this collection, which is an entire store stock, all genres, all styles, all in beautiful condition. I've moved to Victorville, taken up residence there, and right now I'm currently sorting and cataloging this collection, and we're calling it the Victorville Film Archive. And if you've got some time, Tim, you should come out and see it. It's actually probably 5 times as big as my previous collection, and every single movie that you burned has been replaced, in many cases, in triplicate.
Almost one of those too good to be true happy endings, which I'm proud to be a part of. I quickly just want to give you guys an update of where I am with my life. I know Greg doesn't want the show to be all about personalities, but people do want to know. Still, Ayaka's doing great. Little Tom Cruise is growing up. He's going through sort of those terrible twos. A little early, can't put my finger on how many months he is, but he's just turning into such a wonderful boy. I've been enjoying really just expressing myself, my individual talents through music lately. Thank you all for supporting Our Values Are Under Attack from Heidecker, Hawaii. My first #1 download.
Where?
As well as my first download. It was the #1 download out of that catalog. As you know, I've got that bug. I got whatever gene that is that make you gifted musically. I got it in spades. So I'm going to be probably the next few months working on that almost exclusively. People go, what are you going to do next with Decker? What's happening? Season 3, I can't wait to see Season 3. I mean, people are saying this to me almost on a constant basis. Every time I leave the apartment, people are stopping me on the street. I get pulled over. People are wondering, what is the future of Decker 3? Well, the new season of Decker is coming with a big caveat there, and a big announcement to make is you, sir, Greg Turkington, will be in charge of the franchise. I've given keys to the kingdom over to you, And Greg
I'm excited about it.
Turkington here will be directing and writing and producing the entire affair, because I've talked to you about this. You know, I looked at one of my idols, Steven Spielberg, and his ability to create a universe, and something like Jurassic Park or Jaws, where he's directed the first, sometimes the second movies, and gone on and let the other people, smaller people, sort of worker bees, go off and direct and write and all these things that aren't as important. And I thought, well, that's a smart way to do things. Why am I doing all of these things when I should be spending more time with my family?
Jaws 2 is great.
Jaws 2 is not as, they diminish as they go through, although I do like them.
I feel the opposite way.
But I'm excited to see your take on it. And
it's not going to be that different.
No.
When you have a good franchise, you want to stick to what works. I mean, like with the Bond movies, different people direct them. They even have different people playing James Bond.
Well, that's not going to happen.
There's
So,
a consistency to
same
them.
Decker as
Same
always.
Decker,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that, we're going to stick with the exotic locales. We're going to stick with President Davidson. He's not going anywhere, folks. And the concepts that make Decker such a successful series.
I'm so excited to see the script and see what you've cooked up, because
It's halfway done now. 10 episodes written, 10 to go.
All right, well, that's all the housekeeping I need to do, unless you have anything to add.
It's great to be back and
Great to be
reviewing
back.
movies again.
Yeah. We didn't have a chance to see the movies coming out this week. What we'd like to do is take a look back at the summer, because so many great movies came out this summer. We show up the movies on the screen here that we both agreed deserved 5 bags of popcorn. I'll show that. We do want to focus on 2 movies from the summer that have special meaning to us. Ant-Man, directed by Peyton Reed, and stars Paul Rudd, Greg Turkington, Michael Douglas, Michael Pena. Ant-Man, armed with a super suit with the astonishing ability to shrink in scale, but whatever, he turns into an ant, doesn't matter. Burglar Scott Long must embrace his hero, and it's like there's not even a way to summarize that movie, because it didn't, as a movie, it didn't make sense. But
It was #1 for several weeks. So.
Your review?
I have to recuse myself. You can't wear 2 hats at once. I'm a critic, obviously a film expert, also an actor now, and I think it would be unfair to the show for me to review my own movie. So I'm going to recuse myself respectfully.
Fair enough. I thought this movie was a miss. This was sort of, I'm wondering who at the studio decided to even put this one out, in terms of why not just can it and just keep it in the, locked up in a vault, and sort of issue a statement of which would say, my apologies to those expecting this to come out. It will never be seen, because it was just, no disrespect to another film that came out this summer, a train wreck, which is what this should have been called. It was a disaster. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. People go on and on about these Ed Wood movies and other sort of classic bad movies. This kind of falls into that category for me. And I shame the studios and everybody involved for allowing real trash to come out and deceive the wonderful film-going audience that expects more quality than that. Shame on you, and shame on every person involved with the film, including the actors, even the small parts I thought were terrible. Terribly directed, terribly acted. Every member of the cast was horrible. And I give it unprecedented 1 bag of popcorn, way more than it even deserves. But as you know, there is no such thing as 0 bags of popcorn. There has to be a bag of popcorn. These are movies, so laws of physics demand at least 1 bag of popcorn, but it is a sad, lonely bag with no salt, no butter, many unpopped corn at the bottom of the bag of popcorn that is stale and hardly able to eat. It is a horrible, horrible movie. Ant-Man, directed by Peyton Reed. So that gets 1 bag of popcorn. Okay. The other movie we want to talk about is The Fantastic Four, directed by Josh Trank. Josh, one of the greats, my captain, Josh Trank. This one's for you. Fantastic Four, starring Tim Heidecker, Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, not the basketball player, And 4 young outsiders teleport to an alternate universe, which alters their physical form in shocking ways. The 4 must learn to harness their new abilities and work together to save Earth from a powerful enemy. I give this one 6 bags of popcorn. It is a home run. This movie was sort of the quintessential popcorn movie. That's why I give it so many bags. Perfectly handled by the master himself, Josh Trank. Thank you for your direction and gave me such great guidance and made it such a fun, easy film for me to work on. Greg, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I thought, the beginning's a little bit slow, but overall I think it was one of the best superhero movies that has been made. It has big scenes and it has small scenes. I thought that I completely understand why you would want to be involved with it, why you would pay the $15,000 to get that cameo in the movie.
We're not,
so
no.
That's what they do nowadays. It's
thank
called
you
a
very much.
vanity
No,
role,
it's
and
not what
you
happened.
pay
I was-
$15,000 and you get a couple of lines in the movie. It's a good investment on your part because
It's
it helps promote
It's disrespectful
Decker.
to me that you think that that's what happened.
Well, I
'cause
don't think that's what happened. I heard you talking on the phone and making the deal.
The opposite happens to be true. I was paid that much and some for the work I did on that
For
movie.
your fantastic 4 lines in the movie
No,
that you paid $15,000 to.
I didn't pay-
It was a great
you
movie
believe-
anyway. Regardless of that,
believe what you wanna
movies have to
believe.
get the money. They
You
have to.
believe-
They have to get
Shut
the
up.
budget
I'll
somehow.
I'll
It's
walk
like
you out.
product
I'll have
placement.
everybody I'll have them walk you out.
This is
You
one of the
cannot
things they
talk
do
about
with
this. This
movies
is
now, is
absolutely
that
out
you
of
can
line.
pay
You
to
can
be in a
talk-
movie in a
We-
cameo
That's enough
role.
of the show. Thank you very
In
much.
a cameo role,
We-
you can pay
You're-
to
you have
be
to
part of a
understand,
movie.
I did not pay a dime for this.
You
have
got
to-
on the phone with
I
Josh Trank
approached
and offered him
I
$15,000
offered
for a
him the
role
idea that
in the
I did not
Fantastic
offer him any
Four.
f***ing money. If I offered him money, it was to get the conversation started, and that's where it ended.
He gave you a vanity role
and then I was
in
paid,
the movie.
No, it was not a vanity role. I auditioned like everybody else. I was paid
It's a
$35,000.
formality. That's just a formality. You paid $35,000.
Hey, Greg, drop this now, or you don't come back next week.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to On Cinema at the Cinema, where we're in full gear going through the Lucky Season 7, which I'm calling Lucky Season 7 because we're got a good feeling about this season, and Lucky number 7 has always been lucky for me. I want to welcome my guest. With me today is Greg Turkington.
Hey, guys.
And I'm sorry, Greg has asked me to say Greg Turkington from the Victorville Film Archive.
Victorville Film Archive, which I've been slaving away to get this archive completely ready to go. Literally thousands of movies to catalog, archive, label, using my coding system.
Yeah. It's got some cool movies this week to talk to you guys about. Want to just give you an update from our world here. Decker Season 3. Everyone's asking what's going on in Decker Season 3. I haven't seen the script
All the
yet.
episodes are written, 20 episodes, which is a Decker season. Most of the cast is set in place. We're building sets right now.
Good.
I'm doing this at the same time, maintaining this film archive, so I've been very busy.
Well, I can't wait to see what you've got cooked up. I'll be there bright and early whenever you need me to.
Most exotic locale yet. If you thought Hawaii was exotic, wait till you see where Decker goes this season.
All right. And so you're going to be able to get me done in one chunk? Pretty limited time-wise.
No, you have a lot of scenes, but we can shoot them in one day. If you can do them right, we should be able to get you out in a day.
Great. All right.
We're going to film a lot of the scenes before you even get there, so don't worry.
Okay. So sort of bigger news. I have a big announcement I want to make, and with the support of my family and my friends, I'd like to announce the formation of my first ever band called Decker. Put the logo up. We just put the logo together this morning. And
Why would you call it Decker when there's an existing movie series called Decker?
It's a different spelling, of course, and it's also my right because Decker is part of my name, and that's where I came up with the original Decker.
It's going to be confusing to people that if they see a CD, they're going to think it's a soundtrack to one of the Decker movies. And,
No, you look at the logo. It's a completely different thing, different spelling. The 2 Ks, which I think were cool, is my idea. Create this duality, sort of a mirror, which represents.
Seems like there's another name you could use rather than confuse people with this.
Okay, well, I'll be sticking with Decker. Someone's talking about Decker. They're talking about the hit action series starring Tim Heidecker. If they're talking about Decker, it is the new progressive rock music.
DECAR would be less confusing.
DEKKAR is the way we're spelling it. So I'm going to be recording our first 3-song EP next week, or this coming weekend. and hopefully I'll have some songs for you guys to check out. Title track is called Empty Bottle. So it's not literally about an empty bottle, it's actually a representation of sometimes the way we all feel a little empty, a little lonely. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Let's talk about our movies this week.
Movies.
Speaking of empty bottle, Black Mass. Directed by Scott Cooper. Actors Johnny Depp, one of my favorites, Benedict Cumberbatch, Dakota Johnson.
Just Dakota.
Oh, okay. Dakota.
Dakota,
Okay.
like the state.
Dakota.
It's
sorry,
just Dakota. It's
Jo-
just Dakota.
This is. Okay.
Dakota.
Oh, it's like North
the-
Dakota.
yeah.
North Dakota.
Or South
I'm sorry,
Dakota.
Dakota Johnson. Okay. The true story of White E. Whitty Burglar, the brother of a state senator and most infamous violent criminal in the history of South Boston, who became an FBI informant to take down a mafia family invading his turf. Okay, so this is the true story of Whitey Burglar, the mafia guy from Boston, who became an FBI informant to take down a mafia family, invading his turf. And I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good action, sort of reminded me of The Godfather.
Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino and not Dustin Hoffman.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, and also Goodfellas. If you haven't seen Goodfellas, check that one out. And Married to the Mob and those kind of movies, which are always fun to imagine what life might be like in the Costa Nostra. I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 1 soda. Greg, what do you think of this movie, Black Mass?
Oh, I like it. It's a very serious look at a real problem in America, which is the gangsters and some of the havoc that they can wreak on our communities. My only problem with it is the casting. I feel that Johnny Depp was wasted in this role, just playing some old, essentially a businessman, when he's much more suited to fanciful characters, flamboyant characters who wear velvet gowns or have a strange cap. Or I feel like you could cast, Robert Duvall or something to play one of these gangsters, and don't waste Johnny Depp's time. He's more suited for these types of characters.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch, if they
reboot or
rebooted the Captain Crunch, I guess that was never really a series of movies, but the serial. If they did a movie of Captain Crunch, that would be good. I would like to see him play a rabbit or a cat, a talking cat, any sort of like a giraffe that comes to life as a person. I don't know.
Interesting point. What's the rating?
I'm going to give it 4 bags of popcorn. I would probably dock the movie 1 bag of popcorn for wasting Johnny Depp's time and our time as well. But because I like the movie so much, I'm going to go ahead and restore that bag and give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Okay. Second movie here we have is Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials. I love those Maze Runner movies. Directed by Wes Ball. Actors Dylan O'Brien, Nathalie Emanuel, Thomas Brody Stanksters. Okay. Having escaped the maze, the Gladers now face a new set of challenges on the open road of desolate landscape filled with unimaginable obstacles. One of the greats. I mean, this is sort of emblematic of the Maze Runner series. It's true to the characters, and it reminded me of back in my youth going through cornfields and everything, like a Field of Dreams. 5 bags of popcorn and 5 sodas, 5 cans of soda.
And it's been too long since they did one of these movies. And that's something that I think Hollywood sometimes gets wrong, is that you don't want to keep people waiting too long, because then they might move on to something else and forget what happened in the previous movies. I didn't, because I did revisit this movie before going to see the sequel, and I thought it was excellent. A little scary.
Yeah, I wouldn't take my son, Tom Cruise Jr., to this. But I would take my wife on a date night, which you got to remember always to keep reminding yourself when you have kids to keep that flame alive. And often we do that. We went to go see the Lego movie together, which was out at the Dollar Theater. Second run movie. Bags.
Oh, yeah, I would give it 5 bags of popcorn and maybe throw in a little whistle in case you're trapped in a maze and need help getting out.
All right, let's push forward and get through to Greg Turkington's Popcorn Classics, which you said you've got ready.
Popcorn Classics. We're going to do something special on Popcorn Classics to commemorate the lucky 7 season, as you're calling it, we're going to do what is known as a lucky dip.
Just bring the movie out. I don't want to do the whole.
We're going to do a lucky dip, just like anyone has done. This is what we're going to do. You're going to close your eyes and reach in and dig into the bag and pull out a movie. These are all classics.
Okay.
You pull one out and it'll be the popcorn classic for today.
Okay, this will be a little fun.
Close your eyes, though.
All right,
We
wish
don't need
me
to
luck.
blindfold you.
Wish me luck.
Dig deep.
I'm just going to pick up. We haven't rehearsed this, so. Our song. Our song. What?
Don't break it. Popcorn classic for today. This is actually one of the many, many films that I have found at the Victorville Film Archives. It's a contemporary teen movie, coming-of-age tale set in Brooklyn, and looks like...
Okay, thank you for that. All right, well, I don't know if we'll probably cut this for next week.
I haven't seen this,
All right.
but it's from 2001, stars Kerry Washington, Anna Simpson.
Just forget it. Put it back. We get.
Well, I mean, I want to do the segment.
I see the Bodyguard. We all know that one.
Yeah, Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner.
That's your
Popcorn classic.
Okay. Well, I'll see you next week, and that'll be it for us on Cinema. So, see you next week.
I'll probably see you on Saturday. Are you going to Dr. Luther's party? Ayaka sent me an invite to Dr. Luther's wellness party.
I'm not going to that. I've got recording dates set up.
It's free
I'm
food.
going to be recording from probably Friday night till Sunday night. Locking myself in, just getting these 3 songs.
Did you tell Ayaka?
She knows what I'm doing. But enjoy it. Have fun. I'm sorry. I just got in.
Yeah, I know.
Time to perform.
Before we start the episode, I need to talk to
Okay.
Tim about something.
Hold on a second. We good?
No, before we start the episode,
Hold
I
on.
want to talk
We'll
to you
talk to you about
something.
it after. Ladies and welcome back to another episode of On Cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker, and I'm joined by Greg Turkington from the Victorville Film Archive.
Hey guys, good to be here and bringing in some movies from the archive today for our Popcorn Classic
Sorry
segment.
about that. I was running a little late. Just got back really just about 15 minutes ago from San Juan Capistrano, where I've spent the weekend marathon session recording the new song from Heidecker, the band Heidecker, and this is the demo. It's pretty much finished. And I wanted to everyone's been asking me when are we going to be able to hear it. I'm going to guess what, you're going to be able to hear it right now. This is called Empty Bottle.
I had an interesting weekend too, and I wanted
Hold
to
on,
talk to you.
I am in the middle of a sentence,
Okay.
and you interrupted me twice now. It was an insane, great experience. The Axiom Studios, a man named Axiom, who I met through at Guitar Center. He recorded, mixed the whole thing, played drums on it, and he helped me with some of the instrumentation, drumming, and some of the guitar playing. I actually played lead guitar on it. I've obviously got my ears pierced because it was one of these rock and roll weekends, one of these legendary weekends. That was insane. It was so much work, but also work and play mixed created this incredible piece of music that I'm so proud of. It makes the song I did before, My Values Are Under Attack, sound like shit. This is going to be a #1 song on Billboard. So, I know this show's
Where
about
can
movies.
people hear it online? And then let's get to the movies.
My show, I'm going to do things my way. This is going to be a debut right here. Normally we talk about movies, but we're not going to talk about movies today. We're going to listen to music, and we're going to appreciate the work I did this weekend. So, someone want to play this? Here, put it on. And listen to this. Wait till you hear this. It sounds like, I don't know who, great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world premiere of my new song from the band Heidecker, is Empty Bottle. Take it away. Play the song. Not just about movies, like I said.
I'm like an empty bottle, drained of everything left in my mind. Checking out life on the dark side, riding down the road till the end of time. I'm like a broken lantern, stuffed with everything
and that kind of fades out. We'll do like a cross mix to the next song, depending on what that next song is. What'd you think? How many bags of popcorn are you going to give that one?
I think instead of spending the weekend making that music, you should have come to the picnic that you were invited to by Ayaka's boss, Dr. Luther. Because I went to it, and I need to tell you something. Dr. Luther, you've never met this guy that she's been working for a year and a half?
No, I've heard of him speak. She spoke kindly of him. That's about all I can say.
So you don't know who he is?
It's my wife's boss.
I got a candid photo from the picnic, and he looked very familiar to me, and I think you'll see why.
You just make just a Photoshop?
No, that's from the picnic on Saturday, the wellness picnic.
That's Dr. Sand. That's not
Yeah,
Dr. Luther.
that's Dr. Sand.
What's she doing with Dr.
That's what I
Sand?
wanted to tell you. The second I saw him, I recognized him. This Dr. Luther that Ayaka's been talking about, in fact, is Dr. Sand, who ruined several episodes of our show.
You don't
and
know this
had
guy,
you in
Dr.
welts.
Sand. He's the most wanted man in America. He's fooled me. He fooled our audience. He's wanted by us. My wife, my soon-to-be wife, is been working as a secret agent almost under.
Well, I don't know if I don't think she
She's
knows.
duplicitous.
I don't think
told her
she
I've
knew
been working-
anything about Dr. Sand. I don't think she watched the episodes with Dr. Sand, but if she had, she would have told
I've been looking for this asshole for 2 years, and you're telling me he's been right under my nose this whole
Dr.
time?
Luther is
Get
Dr.
the fuck out of
Sand.
here! You get out!
I didn't have anything to do with it.
It's my wife!
You
and
need to
she's
hear the
working
truth.
She's working with Dr. Sand? You're telling me my wife's working for Dr. Sand? Turn the lights off!
I'm sorry. We didn't even review one movie this week. We didn't even mention the title of a movie.
I want his head on a platter! You find out where he is!
Well, he's at 400 La Crescenta, Suite 200, where he always is, where Ayaka is every day.
You should have, second you saw him, you should have called me. I would have come straight from the
I
set.
called you and you didn't answer the phone because you were too busy
How am I gonna
recording
keep the phone
that
on when we're
crappy
recording
music.
Drums, tracking drums. Right now, I'm interested in my acupuncture. Dr. Sand's going to be with us. He's now part of the show. He's a permanent member of the team on Cinema Family. Dr. Sand is with us! Thank you, Dr. Sand. I do believe that healthcare is a privilege. I sort of feel like my face has been cut with a knife. And it's my foot. It's disrespectful to Dr. Sand.
Well, I don't really care about Dr.
I
Sand.
have they call a stage 3 infection on my face from Dr. Sand's needles. If anybody out there knows where he is, may he be found and arrested, prosecuted, put in jail.
Dr. Luther, you've never met this guy that she's been working for a year and a half? She would have told
I've been looking
you.
for this asshole for 2 years, and you're telling me he's been right under my nose this whole
Dr.
time?
Luther is
Get the
Dr.
fuck
Sand.
out of here! Hi everybody, welcome to my On Cinema. It's not On Cinema today. It's I should just put this away. I forget to it. It's a new show for today called the Dr. Sand Forgiveness Special. Welcome. I want to welcome my guests. It's going to be a tricky show for us, but I want to get through a lot of stuff because last week has been hard. I want to welcome Greg Turkington from the Victorville Film Archive.
Hey guys.
Joe Estevez here, who's going to, as you guys know from Heidecker, and President Jason Davidson is here, who's also going to be helping me moderate today and get kind of, I'm sure you've had to forgive somebody in your past?
I did.
We're not going to dwell on that, but you have experience in that department.
Yes.
And finally, my guest is, my main guest, Dr. Sand, Dr. Luther Sand.
Thank you for having me back.
Bring everybody up to speed. Last week, Greg here alerted me that my fiance Ayaka had been working for Dr. Sand for the past couple of years. And there was a little bit of confusion because she had been calling you Dr. Luther Sand, as a Japanese woman would.
Yeah, Luther-san.
Luther-san.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she was actually saying your full name and that your first name is Dr. Luther.
Yeah, maybe it should have been Luther-san-san.
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
Yeah. And as you guys remember, I had been one of your patients, and you had been treating me for various diseases that I had, and the initial reaction to the acupuncture had been negative. and I overreacted, and we had a falling out. That's one of my biggest regrets after now reconnecting with you.
I'm really sorry about the reaction that expressed itself on your scan.
That's why we're calling this the forgiveness special,
Yeah.
I guess, because we all had made mistakes.
I should have been more clear about how you need to clean your body off ahead of time.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. What Dr. San was explaining to me was that I had come into the process from an impure place. And I had not done some of the stuff that you had advised me to do ahead of time. I kind of wanted to skip through some of that stuff.
Yeah, because the needles were pure gold.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 14 karat gold needles.
I didn't even know that, but that was...
And gold being a pure element, it's impossible for them to be dirty.
Are all the needles gold?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe, they were...
So it wasn't. They were good, and when they went in, it was just he didn't take a shower or something. Was that
Something like that, yeah. But it was my fault because I should have told them.
You know, we're not here to place blame. We're here to forgive and move on. And it's actually comforting to know that you're out there and you have a great relationship with Ayaka. And I know that you just started seeing my son, Tom Cruise Jr., who has his own set of health problems. And it's just one of those things that I'm glad. I feel so much more relief now that I've got the great doctor here on my side again, advising me for all health concerns.
Yeah.
And what you were talking, this is fascinating. You were talking to me about vaccines. Tell the audience about that.
I mean, it's tricky bringing up a kid these days in today's modern world because we have so many opinions and voices coming from all around, especially the drug industry.
Oh yeah, the
which
pharmaceutical company, all part of that collusion between big government and the pharmaceutical big business that we call crony capitalism.
Yeah, they're brainwashing us, making us convinced that we're going to go extinct as a species unless we get all these vaccinations.
Right.
And take all their pills to make us happy or sad.
And the
or
shots
whatever.
too. I mean, Tom Cruise Jr. had been getting these vaccination shots, and then I find out from you that millions of kids in this country are dying, every day from these vaccinations.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I was reading the other day, coincidentally, that if you don't take a shower for 3 or 4, even 5 days, that's a good thing in the body. So I was just thinking that
we're not talking about the cleanliness thing right now.
Okay.
We're going to move on from that. I just want to say, I seek your forgiveness for the way I sort of threw your name through the mud. Joe, thank you for being here.
it's my pleasure.
And hopefully you can forgive me.
Yeah, my forgiveness is all yours, and I accept your forgiveness, and
Great.
it feels really good.
Yeah,
as
I
it
feel
does
like
to
this thing
forgive.
was hanging over my head for years, this idea that this guy was out there who was trying to kill me, And here you are, as I knew you were, a good doctor, a great doctor, a man that cares about his patients. And it's an emotional thing for me to talk about, because I know that you've been,
Wow.
It's good to be back.
Wow.
you've been so, yeah. Anyways, I'm so glad I have the opportunity. I have this forum where I can express myself.
I have a gift for you and the audience about vaccinations and
Yeah.
about how much harm they cause in this world.
This is one of the greatest, I don't want to say books, but pamphlets, informational documents I've ever gotten. Healthy Healing and the Natural Alternative, Just Say No to Vaccination. Access this document. It's incredible. And it's an eye-opener. And I tell you what, I'm going to take Tom Cruise off all that starting today. Medicines, the vaccine, he's got all kinds of medical issues that the doctors are over-prescribing.
Yeah, it's better to just let our own immune system just do their thing.
Yeah, it's amazing what the body can do to cure itself. That's the message you provide. And this is one of the greatest documents I've ever read. It's the key to health. And you can forget about all that other medicine. You don't have to go to the doctor anymore. You follow the words of Dr. San. And we talked about this off air, but Dr. San's going to be staying with us for the next couple weeks and try to get Tom Cruise up to 100%, which he's definitely nowhere near, because he does have a variety of illnesses that need your direct attention. And you're going to be a guest in our home.
And we're all just going to benefit. Off of being
Absolutely. I
together.
think that the energy's bouncing off each other, and I'm not going to be around so much because I'm still trying to get this demo finished. But I want to welcome you
thank
into
you.
my home and
Thank
into
you.
and welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Finally, we'd
Popcorn
like
Classics.
to. I'm sorry.
We're doing Popcorn Classics.
No,
said that-
I know, but we're not going to have time for that because he just told me he's going to play a song for
But you told me to come out here from Victorville and I could do 2 Popcorn Classics. And
Well, I don't know what to
Well, I
tell
have no
you.
reason to be here for this.
We'll
And
get
if I'm not doing
to.
the popcorn classics.
Okay, Greg, this is the.
It only takes a minute per
This
movie.
is a forgiveness
takes
special.
2
We don't have
minutes.
time. There's a forgiveness special. Maybe you should.
I forgive you. Now can I do the popcorn classics?
Why don't we do your popcorn classics first thing up next week? That's how we'll start the show. It'll be unprecedented in On Cinema history. We'll actually begin a show with a popcorn classic. All right, we'll do 2 of them too. Thank you, Greg, for understanding. And now, Dr. Sands, a song for peace. Dr. Sands. Beautiful. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And we'll be back next week with movie reviews from On Cinema. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. We're back. Thank you for bearing with us last week. And by the way, I don't know about bearing with it. It was one of the highest rated episodes of On Cinema history. But we are back doing what we do best, reviewing movies that are coming out this week. My guest from the Victorville Film Archive is Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, welcome to the show, and we're going to kick things off today with a popcorn classic, as promised last week.
Okay, get that over with.
All right, this week's popcorn classic is Blue Streak, starring Martin Lawrence and Luke Wilson, from the director of Flubber. It's about a master jewel thief, and he's anxious to retrieve the hot rock, which he hid at a construction site 2 years earlier. So this is an interesting movie. It's a lot of fun. I consider it one of the all-time great popcorn classics. It's from 1999, and it's rated PG-13.
All right.
Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence. If you haven't had a chance to see it, it is available. I actually have 3 copies in my archive. I was delighted to find.
All right, got that out of the way. Put that away. Today's movies are Pan, directed by Joe Wright, acting of Hugh Jackman, Mara Rooney, Garrett Hudland, and Amandra Seyfried. The story of an orphan who is spirited away to the magical Neverland. This is a Peter Pan movie. There he finds both fun and dangers and ultimately discovers his destiny to become the hero. This is a prequel to the movie Peter Pan from Robin Williams. I thought this was finally, you get that origin story that we've all been looking for, which is where did Peter Pan come from? He just didn't come out of thin air. He is Hugh Jackman. And I like this movie, got a chance to enjoy it this weekend, and I'll give it 5 bags of popcorn. And what did you think of the movie?
Now, when I first heard about this movie, I thought, geez, of all the franchises to reboot, why Peter Pan? And then when I actually sat down and watched it, I realized it was a stroke of genius, because this is one of the best movies of the year. Seeing Peter Pan come to life with the modern technology that Hollywood has at its disposal these days is nothing short of a miracle. This is something that will give you a second lease on life. It's fun for teenagers, fun for old people, fun for Peter Pan heads, fun for people who've never even heard of Peter Pan, if there is anybody like that. I don't think there is. And the whole gang's here, Tinkerbell, Peter, and the rest. I thought the movie was a delight. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and throw in a jar of Peter Pan brand peanut butter.
Yeah, we're not. Dr. Sand has gotten rid of all chemically induced foods, including Peter Pan.
It's just peanuts. Peanuts and
And
salt
tons
and
of
oil.
sugar. Tons of sugar.
I doubt it.
So, you look up at the ingredients. There's corn syrup in there and all kinds of crap.
It's peanut butter. It's just going to be peanuts and oil and salt.
Just look at the ingredients. I'm just warning you.
Well, I don't have it at home, so I'm not going to look at the ingredients. But it's fine.
Steve Jobs. Eat naturally is my message. Steve Jobs, directed by Danny Boyle. Susan Boyle, singer. Might be related.
This is a movie, though. It's nothing to do
I'm
with
saying the
music.
director, Danny Boyle, might be
Everything
related to
doesn't have to
Susan Boyle.
be about music. When it's about movies, it's about movies.
Acted by Michael Fassbender, Kate Winslet, Rogen, Jeff Daniels, and it's a movie about Steve Jobs. It's about the actor Steve Jobs, or the Apple music, Apple singer, the computers of Steve Jobs. And this was interesting. I didn't know anything about Steve Jobs. I'm not even aware that he had passed away from, interestingly, he had similar issues that my son's dealing with right now with his liver, or his kidneys or something. And apparently you can misdiagnose that as being just a flu, but he lost a lot of weight. And,
Tom did, or Steve Jobs?
you know what's funny about Steve Jobs in the movie? Steve Jobs, the actor or the character, wears the turtlenecks, the black turtlenecks that you see that Decker usually wears. And I was wondering if, in a way, Danny Boyle, the director, and Michael Fassbender was giving a little nod to Decker himself. And you see that with the Kingston movie from last year, and these other movies are sort of Hollywood's way of going, we're watching and keep doing what you're doing. That black mock turtleneck you'll see pop up in a lot more movies, I believe.
And
Let me give my review. My official bag popcorn for Steve Jobs is 5 bags of popcorn. It is going to be considered one of the classic movies of our generation. Thank you, Danny Boyle, for directing the movie.
I just wanted to say this movie is actually going to be in the record books for doing something that no biography has ever done, and this is what makes it notable, and film buffs should rejoice. As far as I know, and I do know these things, this is the first biography of a known figure to use the full name as the title of the movie. If you think about it, you have JFK. Well, that was his nickname. The Johnny Cash movie is called I Walk the Line. What's Love Got to Do with It? It's not called Tina Turner. Nixon. It's not Richard Nixon. It's just Nixon. Ray, the Ray Charles movie, is just called Ray. Here you have the first and last name, and that's because
it's a little uncreative, almost as if they were wasting time doing other things.
Oh no, Hollywood is smart with this. They know what they're doing. It's that if they call the movie Jobs, that sounds like a comedy, doesn't it? About a guy with a lot of different jobs, a screwball comedy. So they couldn't do that. They had to call it Steve Jobs, and in doing so, they inadvertently pioneered a new style of naming biographies. To my knowledge, this is the first movie ever with a subject's first and last name as the title. And so I give it 5 bags of popcorn and maybe with some melted apple butter on it because Steve Jobs founded Apple.
Well, that's one of the takeaways from the movie there. And I want to also add that I thought Danny Boyle did a good job. Good jobs on the movie. Or everybody, you know what I'm going for. Good jobs with the movie. Good job directing the movie.
Lincoln was another one that's just called Lincoln. It's not called Abraham Lincoln.
And we understand that. All right. Well, a quick Decker update. You want to give a quick Decker update?
Even Decker, it's called Decker. It's not called John Decker. Anyway, something to think about. Decker update. Yes, we have shot most of the scenes for the first 4 episodes using some of the guest stars, some of the other cast.
I have not been on set yet, so I don't know what you've been
Well,
shooting.
you know, this is how the real movie makers do it. You don't have to shoot things in sequence with everyone there. You shoot out some actors, you bring in other actors like yourself at their convenience, and we'll get all your scenes. No one will ever be able to tell that you weren't there every second of the shoot.
Well, I'm coming in next couple of days.
Saturday, 6 a.m.
Yep,
and be on set.
I'll be there.
Been working with Joe Estevez, who's back as President Jason Davidson. Things haven't changed that much.
And I'm going to give you as much time as I can. You know, he got some issues with Tom Cruise. He's going to be coming along too, I understand. We're going to be...
It's going to be a long day because you've got a lot of scenes, but I think we can do them in one day because we've got this plotted out. It's not like in Hawaii where everything was kind of slipshod. First 5 episodes next week.
So the turnaround on this is remarkable. I'm shooting this Saturday, and new episodes begin airing this coming Monday.
We've already edited most of the episode. We just need to insert your scenes.
Okay, good. Well, you got a crazy deadline, but you guys are in luck because Decker. Can I say the title? Decker.
Don't reveal the title yet.
Everything's
The abbreviation is what's on the poster.
DVD.
DVD. Hey, can we show the official poster? Can
Show
we
the
premiere
poster.
that?
Yeah.
The official DVD. That's all we can reveal right now about the title.
A lot of secrecy here. I can't wait. I'm going to read the script tonight, get off book, and be ready to shoot on Saturday. And that's all we got for now. We'll see you next time at the movies. See you guys at the movies. Established.
Yeah, that's from another TV show. They're not going to be able to use that. That's from Siskel and
If I'd
Ebert.
say I'll meet you at the movies, that's perfectly.
I know, but that's you
can't
just took that
copyright
from
that.
Siskel and
You
Ebert.
can't copyright the English language. Look it
Well,
up.
you can. The word Pepsi is copyrighted.
It's a made-up word.
It's common
You
use.
won't be there at 6 a.m.
6 a.m. on Saturday.
Just do a later start, maybe 10 a.m. or something.
No, we have a lot of ground to cover. We've got 20 episodes and the 2-hour finale. We've got to get your scenes for all of them.
Oh boy. Okay. See you then.
See you then.
Hi everybody. This is On Cinema. I'm Tim Heidecker, and I'm joined by Greg Turkington from the Victorville Film Archive.
And the writer, director, producer, and co-star of Decker versus Dracula, which you can currently see online.
Okay, and we're going to get to our reviews now,
And we need to reschedule you to come back in and finish the rest of the 17 episodes in the 2-hour finale, which is all written and ready to go.
after we review the movies, there'll be a major announcement regarding that.
Cool.
Okay, Goosebumps, directed by not David Letterman, but Rob Letterman. Acted by Jack Black, Halston Sage, Dylan Minnette, Ken Marino, Amy Ryan. A young kid teams up with the niece of young adult horror author Rel Stein after the writer's imaginary demons are set free in the town of Greendale, Maryland. This is a great action, horror comedy for kids, Goosebumps. It gave me the goosebumps. I recommend it 5 bags of popcorn. Quickly?
I loved it. I kept feeling like this is kind of like an unofficial Tim Burton movie. I kept wondering, did Tim Burton have something to do with this? It reminded me of what he does, and then I started wishing Johnny Depp was involved. So I was a little disappointed that those two guys weren't involved, but on its own merits, it was fantastic. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and the phone number of Tim Burton so that you can get him involved next time.
All right, quickly moving on. Bridge of Spies, directed by Steven Spielberg. I almost feel it's insulting to Steven Spielberg to be seated during one of these for his movie, so I would like to stand. Are we able to frame for that? No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
Well, just show him some respect. You sit up straight.
I'll give the film 5 bags of popcorn.
All right.
That's the ultimate mark of respect.
I plan on it. This is directed by Steven Spielberg, acting by Tom Hanks. I mean, do I need to say any more? Alan Alda and Amy Ryan. I'm glad I said more because Alan Alda is one of our greats too from MASH. And this is an American lawyer who's recruited by the CIA during the Cold War to help rescue a pilot detained in the Soviet Union. It's a Cold War spy thriller directed by the master of cinema, Steven Spielberg himself. Everyone said, well, I thought Steven Spielberg was retired. And he came out of retirement to make this wonderful movie. God bless Steven Spielberg. Thank you for working on action movies of this caliber. And Tom Hanks, you've never been finer. Since Forrest Gump, I've never seen you do a better film performance. This is 5 bags of popcorn. If you have anything less than 5 bags of popcorn, I'll personally make sure that you never see the light of day again.
Oh, I definitely give it 5 bags of popcorn, but I was a little disappointed in that it all took place in courtrooms and legal filings and this sort of stuff. I wanted some more aliens.
Rating?
That's what Spielberg brought
Rating?
us in Close Encounters, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Rating?
5 bags of popcorn. But I would dock it a few kernels per bag because I do feel that Spielberg is the master of science fiction, and this was not science fiction. This was courtroom drama, and there's other people that do it better.
Okay, thank you very much, Greg. And now a very major announcement regarding regarding Decker.
20 episodes plus, we can announce now for the first time there is also going to be a 2-hour season finale at the end. So this
sorry.
is the biggest and best Decker yet.
Pardon me, that's not the announcement I'm going to make. The major announcement is Decker versus Dracula has been canceled by me.
No.
I apologize to the audience for bearing through those 3 episodes. If you haven't seen the 3rd one today, don't bother. It's a complete waste of time. It's a disaster, what you did.
No.
The way you... Shut up. I'm not letting you speak, but you should hear this. What you did to this franchise is you pissed on it. You pissed all over it and you shit on it. And you showed absolutely no respect for the universe that I created through Decker Classified and Decker Protocol Hawaii, Save the Island. I came in good faith and trusted that you would write a script worthy of my performance, my characters that I created.
And I did.
No, you did not.
I did.
You turned it into a mockery. You turned it into a joke. Dracula. Who cares about Dracula?
You need to watch all the episodes.
Shut
You
up!
need to film them.
Hey! Shut up or I'll punch you in your mouth. Second of all, you showed blatant disrespect for America, American values, by the capitulation of Heidecker with the Taliban. Never in a million years would Heidecker and the Taliban
Plot twist.
collaborate in order to protect the world from a fictional character. You have ruined your chances at becoming a director, writer, producer of content.
Wait and see how it turns out.
I'm not waiting to see it because I'm not coming back to set. This
beard didn't fit with Heidecker anyway. You're the one that shits all over it when you show up to set with a dyed black beard that Jack
not
Heidecker
dyed.
would never wear.
That beard is not dyed. It's natural. It's how my hair comes in. First of all, you didn't give Heidecker any action. You need to bring in the action right away.
Well,
like
there
I
was
did
no
with
action in
Hawaii.
the first 3 episodes of The
You
Sopranos,
screwed
and
up.
that
Why
was
don't
the
you
most
just admit
popular
you screwed up?
series
You don't know
of
what
all
you're
time.
doing. You have no idea what you're doing.
In Moonraker with James Bond, they took James Bond to outer space. That was at that time the most successful James Bond movie of them all.
You know what? Shut up. This is the biggest mistake of my life, ever giving you the responsibility of those keys to my beautiful Corvette. I have never heard more negative reactions to anything in my life than those first 3 episodes of Heidecker
I've
versus
never heard more
Dracula.
positive
Well,
reactions.
then you're not looking on the right places. I've seen more 1 stars, more downvotes, more dislikes.
I've seen the exact
People
opposite.
People are throwing
Horror
it under the bus.
movie fans love
is-
it,
listen,
and Heidecker heads
First
love
of all,
it.
and that fraud, that James Dean that you picked out of a trash can, whoever his name is, that James Dean
James
guy,
Byron Dean.
He's not James Dean. James Dean died many years ago. You've been
And that's
duped
one of the
by
special
him.
things about
Now,
this is its return to the silver screen. James Dean is back. Rebel
I
Without
don't
a
know what
Cause,
to tell
East
you,
of
Greg.
Eden, Giant, and Heidecker versus Dracula. The 4 films of James Dean.
I
think he's
apologize that
fantastic
you-
in this, and there's a lot of buzz about this right now.
There
lot
is
of
not a
people are
lot of buzz.
talking.
The buzz is bad buzz, and it's people are angry and upset that we destroyed the characters.
They're angry that you're
And
destroying the series. I'm going to keep it going with Mr.
You're not
Dean.
going to keep it going because I forbid you to ever go on set and work with the characters Jason Davidson, Heidecker,
All right, let's change it to
Abdul,
Jason
Kingpin.
Donaldson.
Those are all completely forbidden for you. And sorry
Well,
that this had
we'll
to happen
change the
this
name
way.
of the show to
I
Becker.
apologize. I gave you this creative control. It was my mistake. It was out of line.
Well,
that
no,
I
it's your
should've-
mistake to pull the plug prematurely before people have had a chance.
In the parlance
Tune
of
into
your horror,
Becker
in the parlance of your
versus-
horror movie language, R.I.P. to Heidecker versus Dracula. It's the last time any
and
of my
and in
audience
the
is going to have to
in
suffer
the,
through
and
that.
in the language
And
of
thank-
horror movies, Becker versus Dracula rises
With
again
who?
from the crypt.
Well,
can
thank you
do
very
that.
much. We're wrapping it up
James
for today.
Dean
and
is
you're
back.
forbidden to work. If you want to work on Cinema, then you don't touch the Heidecker franchise ever again. I apologize.
Well,
to the
you're going to
audience.
get so much hate mail over this because people are going to want to know how these episodes turned out.
You ruined-
and you don't pull
you
a
had one
plug on
chance and you
something.
ruined it.
No, I didn't ruin it. You need
Yeah,
to
you
watch.
did.
You're going to get so much hate mail. You're never going to open your inbox again and not have it explode in your face with hate mail. These are great movies.
Join me as I host a new show called On Cinema at the Cinemas, where I and a variety of guests each week, discuss upcoming films, and we tell you which movies are fresh and which movies are not. Join me at the movies, and we'll give you our honest opinions on Cinema at the Cinema. Join us.
Should I
every
see-
Wednesday on AdultSwim.com. Coming this week.
Should I see a movie this weekend? It's On Cinema at the Cinema with me, your host, Tim Heidecker.
Lucky 7 means Casino Edition. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker. What a special show we have for you today. It is season 7, lucky season 7, and this is the episode number 7, 707. So it's going to be a special casino-themed episode of the show, which I thought would be a fun thing. I'm not going to talk about the movie Casino or anything, just introduce some casino-style games and have fun with the idea that how lucky we are to be doing this great show and how lucky you guys are to be with us every week. Let's kick it over.
Why do you think they're still watching
on, I'm
after you
interested-
canceled
hold on.
Heidecker versus Dracula? There's probably nobody watching this anymore.
I'd like to welcome my guest, Mr. Sour Grapes himself, from the Victorville Film Archive. Greg Turkington is with us.
Hey guys, and it's kind of ironic that it's the lucky episode because the audience is unlucky in that if they tuned in to see movies reviewed, they're probably not going to. They're going to see irrelevant casino gambling and personal problem discussions.
Incorrect. I've got the movies right here. We're going to get to them and then get to these very simple games. We're going to do a Stump the Buff and another surprise at the end. You're going to enjoy it.
Here's one game that I just wanted to, as long as it's game time, how about everybody get on Twitter and tweet at Tim Heidecker, bring back Heidecker versus Dracula, because we all loved it, and he is the one who has somehow managed to halt production. It's temporary. We will be back with the other episodes, but for now, it's been halted. Here's a
that's
fun game.
canceled.
Who can send the most tweets at Tim Heidecker
No,
saying,
don't bother. 'Cause I
bring
don't
back
listen. I don't pay
Drecker
attention
versus
to the
Dracula.
Court
That's
of public opinion, by the way. It doesn't matter. What matters is quality, and that's why we'll never see another episode of Decker versus Dracula. Thank you, Greg. Today's we're going to be talking about Gem and the Holograms, directed by John M. Chu, starring Juliet Lewis, Stephanie Scott, Ryan Guzman, Molly Ringwald from the old Molly Ringwald movies. As a small-town girl catapults from underground video sensation to global superstar, she and her three sisters begin a journey of discovering that some talents are too special to keep hidden. This is a classic, in my opinion, one of the great classics of all time, Gem and the Holograms. It's based on a cartoon from when I was a kid, and I loved this movie. It was a great throwback to the old times, remembering some of those great Gem songs. They were kind of like the Bangles or the groups like that. I give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a Star is Born type of scenario, but with animated characters who have now come to life. So it's interesting. I'll give it that. I'll give it 5 bags of popcorn as well.
Great. And second one is Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. They can keep making these for as well as I care. I'd watch every single one of them.
And then you'd pull the plug on them after 3 of them so that people never found out how they ended.
Directed by Gregory Plotkin, acted by Olivia Taylor Dudley, Chloe Sezengeri, and Britt Shaw. Another installment in the Paramount horror franchise guaranteed to shock all viewers. And that is true. It is one of the, talking about jumping out of your seat, I felt like I was going to, the word I like to use for is spine tingling. And it was really wonderful. I love a good horror movie. Not something that really gives you a spook. Not
like the Dr. Sand Forgiveness special. That was a horror movie.
Well, it's take anything over some old, like when they take these old Dracula movies and try to reboot this old tired guy in a tuxedo. We're not going to get into that.
No, you won't let us. You won't let us see the remaining episodes. Honestly, when he got that beard, I didn't think he was right to play Jack Decker anymore. But he did anyway, and it was a disaster. But it's certainly not my fault it was a disaster. You're the lead actor, and you refused to show up for more than a few hours, gave a piss-poor performance, and then pull the plug and have a tantrum like a crybaby, like little Tom Cruise Heidecker would, because people liked it better than they liked Decker Hawaii. Just like somebody has to pay to get cast in the Fantastic Four because somebody else got cast in Ant-Man. It's just professional jealousy, and it's just destroying this franchise here. But I think that if you would let the other 17 episodes plus the 2-hour finale actually get completed and air, you might find that you get some awards.
I just want to say thank you to Dr. Sand, who's has me on this powder called Relax, which I take twice a day. And what it does is it takes all that crap energy that comes this way, all that negativity, all that vitriol.
What's more negative than pulling the plug on a show that all these people depend on for their livelihood and to be entertained by? That seems pretty negative.
Well, I've never been more calm and more at peace than I am right now as you flap off at the mouth. And I suppose it's sort of just rolling off me, that powder is unbelievable. If you're ever in stressful situations, take a spoonful, put it in water or juice.
And so the moral of the story is, instead of watching Decker versus Dracula and finding out an interesting story with an interesting ending and some twists and turns, instead of that, just take some weird drugs from some quack doctor who's been discredited.
Are you done? Because I'd like to move on to the fun games. Your show got canceled. It's time to move on. Lick your wounds, get up off your ass, and make something of your life. Choices have been made, and I'm living with them.
James Dean fans are furious too. And
Sure
if you hang out in James Dean message boards or chat rooms, James Dean fans, we're looking forward to seeing the first James Dean performance since 1955. I mean, this is a piece of history that essentially you aborted.
Am I going to send you back to Victorville and block you up in your viewing station, or are you going to play along and be a good sport and be my guest on the show? Or do you want to leave?
I'll finish the show.
Okay. That's what I thought. Let's get into these casino games and we can go home. Are you ready to play Stump the Buff?
Sure.
Okay, Stump the Buff. Because it's lucky number 7 here, these are all questions that have to do with the number 7. Number 1, what 1995 thriller starred Brad Pitt and
Meet Joe Black.
No,
Meet Joe Black.
no, it's 7.
Oh, well, yeah. All right.
7.
Well, that's a trick because the game is called 7. Why would the answer be the same thing as the game? Obviously, no one's going to guess 7 because it's too ridiculous that you would use that.
Well, I was clear that
It's-
the answers were about 7. And that
Brad
was the
Pitt
name.
was in Meet Joe Black and came out in 1990.
What 1954 film directed by Stanley Donen and starring Jane Powell and Howard Keel won the Academy Award for Best Score?
7 Brides for 7 Grooms. Yeah,
No.
with Howard Keel, 7 Brides for 7 Grooms.
You're very close. It's 7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
That's the British title in America. It's called 7 Brides for 7 Grooms.
Okay, it's 0 for 2.
No, because the British title, we're in America. We're going by the American titles. America, I think it was called 7 Brides for 7 Grooms.
Okay, we'll look that up and see if there's any accuracy to that. Find out. Well, this is the wild card question. As they do in Vegas, they've got the wild card. And I thought that was kind of neat. This is an interesting question. It actually concerns us here at On Cinema. What is the lowest rated film in On Cinema history? So the question is, what film got the lowest rating in the history of On Cinema?
It was that One Direction documentary that you and Ayako went to.
No, I'm sorry.
hated
That got
that.
5 bags of popcorn.
No, I hated it. It wasn't even a
No,
movie.
no. We have a scale. If we add them both up, if we give 5 bags each, you'd have 10 bags of popcorn.
One Direction
No.
got 0. I mean, I wouldn't have given that anything. It
Well, I give
wasn't
it 5
even a
bags
movie.
of popcorn. So the answer is, with 1 bag of popcorn from this year, this season actually, the first episode was Ant-Man. That was
Right.
All right. I was going to play another game. I got these on the way in. In the Money, it's called. Let's see. I was going to give one to Greg to play. I'll just see what happens here. Hey. $1,000. All right. See you next week. Just like that.
I love this movie.
The latest chart-topping hits from all the great artists.
We'll go see every movie.
Hey, what about new music?
It's On Cinema at the Cinema with me, your host, Tim Heidecker.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. Great to be here. My guest today is drummer, guitarist, producer, band member of mine from Decker is Axiom.
Hey guys, pleased to meet you.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's funny, I was supposed to go down there to do a final mix on Empty Bottle, and I had some issues, of course, up here with Tom Cruise Jr. being a little under the weather, and he's just been having a hard time. And Ayaka's like, you're not leaving. So he comes up here with his mobile rig, and we've been sort of doing that final mix. And
Yeah,
I think it's sounding pretty good.
that sounds awesome, man.
Yeah. So let's play a little bit of the new mix, because I think the audience
Yeah,
will be
let's
eager to
play it.
hear what that sounds like. Let's talk about Yeah, just some more bass.
Yeah, like, I wanted to do some things more like because, all this rap music, it's so like, with the high bass, so I wanted to give you that kind of feeling.
It's like a more modern.
Yeah, exactly, like,
Yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty much
yeah, totally, like, it sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah, so you taught me so much about recording. I mean, what kind of software do you use when you're?
I use a software called Sonar X1, It's like just professional software to track audio.
Yeah.
It's really a good one, a professional one. I mean, it costs a lot of money actually.
It is, and you do get a good quality sound from it. That's what.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I do this since ages, like since I was a kid. Like
And
my
you
dad.
have a label as well? where you
Yeah,
can
I
put
do have a
music out?
label. It's located in Europe, and I do some of my business here in LA.
So I think the news is we want to kind of get out there is you didn't put out the Decker album.
Yeah, we want to make a great album, and we're gonna do it.
So I'm now signed on Axiom Recordings out of England, or out of
Italy.
Italy. And so that's kind of big for me. I got a big record deal, and I'm just
I'm happy that you have this. man.
thank you very much, and it's kind of awesome. So you guys can check out the. That's it, right? That's the number
Right.
one band in America coming next year. As soon as that record comes out. I got a short story. Axiom and I met at the Guitar Center. I was sampling recording gear because I was thinking I was going to have to do this whole record on my own, like I did with Our Values Are Under Attack. And I
Yeah.
met you, and we kind of clicked.
Yeah,
on,
like I was giving you some suggestions because you seem like you didn't know that much about all that gear. So I wanted to help you.
yeah.
Like
I just been doing it with my laptop and everything.
yeah, we are doing like something much better now. If you wanted to succeed and really do something that is going to bring you to the top, you have to,
Take it to another level.
yeah, exactly. It's nothing. You can't do it by yourself. Like
Right.
no way. You need someone that has a certain amount of experience.
Yeah. We're gonna get to. Did you see Audubon? So it came out this week. It's Aaron Creevy with actors Anthony Hopkins and.
No, not really. I mean,
We've
I
been
will.
so busy. I mean, I've been sitting
yeah,
there
exactly. Like
that's what happens when you have to mix a song. You listen to
Yeah,
it over.
like-
Start over. Now we're gonna adjust the bass, a couple dBs.
Exactly. So.
What do you think about for live when we're gonna do this live? We have to get a whole band put together, or more people than just the two of us, because I think you'd want to.
It depends. Like a lot of people are like using a lot of backing tracks nowadays, so we can think eventually about that. Like,
Do you see us doing like tours and that kind of thing? or-
oh, absolutely. I mean, what we're working now, it's really good. So I don't see how this is not gonna happen. Honestly, like it's so good.
So world tour, and Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Didn't see that either. It's got Patrick Schwarzenegger in it, who's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. Familiar with him?
I never heard
You've
of this
heard-
guy.
You've heard
like-
of Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course.
Yeah, of course, but
Yeah.
never heard of his
Well,
son. But,
I like this one a lot, and I give it 5 bags of popcorn. And
oh wow.
yeah, this is cool. I'm glad you were able to fill in. We had a
Yeah,
problem with our other
absolutely.
guest, and I want to get a picture of me signing the record contract.
Sure. It's something you have to do, right?
Yeah.
To
We'll
then
go
you
sign
post,
the contract, and we'll go out and celebrate, have a big dinner, go to the
and
Chateau
you post a
Marmont.
picture on Instagram.
Say, welcome
Right.
to the new machine, rock and roll 2.0, Decker. And that's how you're going to know my name from now on, is greatest rock groups in the world, touring everywhere around the world, playing Wembley Stadium. Empty Bottle will be, I guess, our first single, unless
Yeah,
we record
totally.
something better. So Empty Bottle, you guys heard it here first. Thanks for watching.
But
We'll go and take some publicity stuff, the two of us, we can put it some other people.
like, what do you mean? Sorry.
For pictures.
All right, sure.
like-
Let's do it.
let's
I totally want.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host today, Greg Turkington, filling in for our usual co-host, Tim Heidecker, who unfortunately is not able to be here. The bad news is there's been a family emergency with little Tom Cruise Heidecker, his son. We wish Tom the best of health. I don't have the details about what's going on. I just found out that they were called to the hospital with little Tom. So we all send him our best wishes. I'm filling in as the guest host or co-host or host for the episode. As you know, I was the host for this show in the past, and so I feel very comfortable stepping back into those shoes. We had a second emergency in that when Tim left, he didn't leave me the passcode to get into the studio where we normally film on Cinema at the Cinema. And so fortunately that emergency has been squashed because I consented to shoot the episode here at the Victorville Film Archives. Anyone who's a regular watcher of the show knows that I have been curating and maintaining one of the largest film archives in North America here in Victorville, California. This is just the screening room where we dub the tapes and catalog the tapes and that sort of thing. Next door, and I'll show you a little bit later, is the actual archives where the films are stored. It's going to take a long time. There's been a lot of work put into it so far. It's going to take a long time to get everything completely cataloged and available to the public to come and tour. So we'll keep you posted on that. Today is an exciting day. It is the day in which I finally get to review a movie that I've been looking forward to all year. James Bond in Spectre. This is directed by Sam Mendes. It stars, of course, Daniel Craig, James Bond, Christoph Waltz, Ralph Fiennes, Monica Bellucci, Léa Seydoux. A cryptic message from Bond's past sends him on a trail to uncover a sinister organization.
You should go there.
While M battles political forces to keep the Secret Service alive, Bond peels back the layers of deceit to reveal the terrible truth behind Spectre.
Its name is...
And if you followed the Bond movies, and if you haven't, I would be surprised if you were watching on Cinema at the Cinema, because this is the known refuge for Bond heads. You know that Daniel Craig is possibly one of the best Bonds yet. This, I think, is the best of the Daniel Craig Bond movies, possibly of all the Bond movies. I think this is the first Bond movie in which you're going to see an Oscar awarded for Best Picture, but not the last. Once they uncork that bottle of champagne, I think future Bond movies will also get the Best Picture nomination and the statuette as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give this 5 bags of popcorn and throw in like a coffee cup, a styrofoam coffee cup that you would have in your car, but it secretly has a tracking device, because that's what Bond is great at, gadgets. And because Tim's not here, we're going to do sort of an estimated or projected rating for him. I believe that Tim would love this movie. It's very similar to his own Decker, and I believe that Tim would give this movie 5 bags of popcorn as well. Okay, our next movie today is The Peanuts movie, and it's directed by Steve Martino and featuring the actors Noah Schnapp, Francesca Capaldi, Venus Schutelis, and Alexander Garfin. Snoopy embarks on his greatest mission as he and his team take to the skies to pursue their arch nemesis, while his best pal Charlie Brown begins his own epic quest back home. If you've ever read the Peanuts cartoons, you know exactly what this is about. Charlie Brown, Snoopy, the Red Baron, Lucy, Linus, Pigpen, all those great characters are back. And it's interesting to see them in this film in kind of a 3D, or not a 3D, but just it's not as flat as some of the old Peanuts movies. I would also say that, I would also argue that the Peanuts movie is kind of an inaccurate title. It's not the Peanuts movie, it's a Peanuts movie, because movie buffs know that there have been, in fact, several Peanuts movies in the past. I love this movie. I think it's great for children of all ages. I think if you show up with a snobbish attitude and say, well, I'm a little bit old for this, you're going to be surprised that really you aren't. This is a movie everyone could love. The only reservation I have, and this is why I would give it 4 bags instead of 5, is I feel that John Goodman would have been right for the voice of Charlie Brown. This is something I noticed hearing his voice in many great pictures over the years, of Blues Brothers 2000 and so on, that I always thought he had the right voice, and if they ever revived the Peanuts franchise, it should be Goodman as Brown, but obviously they weren't listening to me, so they've got Noah Schnapp. But I'm going to go ahead and give the movie 5 bags of popcorn, and I'm going to throw in 5 bags of peanuts. And Tim Heidecker's projected rating, I think, for this would be a great movie for him to bring little Tom Cruise Heidecker to. Tim, if you're watching, we wish Tom the best of health, and when he gets better, you take him out to see this movie. He's going to love it. I project a rating of 5 bags of popcorn from Tim Heidecker and 2 Milky Way candy bars for little Tom Cruise Heidecker, because anyone that knows him and knows the family knows he's always eating Milky Ways. Okay, now we're going to cut to a special segment. It's the special Victorville Archives edition of Popcorn Classics. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of On Cinema at the Cinema Popcorn Classics, live from the Victorville Film Archives. As you can see behind me, we have quite a few films to choose from, and that's one of the things that makes these segments so special this season. This time we're doing a special edition called On Cinema at the Cinema Family Ties. And I'm not talking about the TV show Family Ties, I'm talking about the ties that bind a family of actors. In this case, actresses, in this case, Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson, her daughter. Swing Shift is our first popcorn classic. This is a movie starring Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell. It's 100 minutes long, directed by Jonathan Demme, and it's a sweet romantic comedy with exceptionally gifted performers. And if you've seen Swing Shift, you'll see the roots of Kate Hudson's comedic timing, which she learned from her mother and from her father, the famous Kurt Russell, because How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is also a very funny movie in its own way. It's kind of a more modern spin on the classic Goldie Hawn comedies, but it's a movie you're going to love if you get a chance to see it, and I hope that you will. That's the point of this whole segment. And we're here in Victorville at the Film Archives. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching another great episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Greg Turkington. We'll be back next week with another episode with your new host, Tim Heidecker. In the meantime, we're wishing our best wishes to Tom Cruise Heidecker. Get well soon, buddy. See you next week.
It's time to have fun at the movies again.
Here's your ticket stub. I'd like a seat in the front row.
Quiet on set.
We're about to roll.
It's On Cinema at the Cinema.
Lucky Season 7. It's Casino Edition. It's Casino Edition. Hi everyone, my name is Tim Heidecker, and I usually am the host of On Cinema at the Cinema, but today we're not going to be talking about movies. Sorry. We're going to be talking about my son, Tom Cruise Heidecker, who passed away over the weekend. And I'm joined, I have a wonderful panel with me, and Greg Turkington is here.
Hey guys.
I don't usually get choked up about too many movies. Old Yeller, or Brian's Song, Ghost. But this just feels as bad as any of that or worse. And if you want to come by, I will still make a selection of movies that might cheer you up and put together a little care package for you from the Victorville collection. I don't mind giving them to you. I have duplicates of a lot of these titles.
Greg, we've had some problems, I know, in the past. A couple of weeks ago, we had a real blowout. And you helped me out last week with the show, and And thank you for that. Thanks for being here. If you want to say something about Tom, that would be great.
He was really, really good to work with, just a really good kid, and just really made the scene that he was in with Ayaka, his mother. And I just want to be here for her and for the memory of Tom Cruise Heidecker. I wish we could have done more scenes together.
Thank you, Greg. I want to also welcome Axiom, who's been my rock. He's been a guy who I've been playing music with now for a while, and he's been up here since basically last week, working on the mix. And,
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
yeah, and you said unbelievable words of support because you had been through similar things. You know, when you're in a band, you're like brothers.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to support you. So I don't really know what to say. You know?
Yeah, there's nothing to say, really. And finally, Dr. San here, who's been with us, me and Ayaka, for the past few weeks trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with him and crack that code. And I'll be honest with you, Doc. From my own eyes, I could see you tried everything. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, sure. It's so sad. I don't know. I wish there was something else we could have done.
Wow, what was there to do? You know, you went through.
Yeah, we cleansed the house, and we went on, foraging for all the herbs ourselves out in your garden. We tried magnets. I thought for sure that was going to pull the iron in his blood back into alignment. So many needles.
No, we did. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. Just did sage, burning sage and everything.
And that just got rid of all the negative spirits. So I really don't know what else we could have done.
We could have just taken him to a real doctor.
I did what I was trained to do. You know that most people, where they get sick, is at the hospital.
But he was already sick. He didn't get this from the hospital. If you'd taken him to the hospital and got a real doctor to look at him, instead of removing the magnets from the fridge or whatever it is that you did, he might still be alive.
It's nobody's fault, and let's not start pointing fingers at each other or what we should have done. But if we would have brought him to the hospital, he would have even been dead quicker.
Yeah, I think two things, by the way. The fact that we had those initial round of vaccinations, which I begged Ayaka to avoid doing, and the black mold that existed in that apartment before we moved in.
Yeah, probably, because, when you wipe down all the walls with bleach and stuff, you're actually you're killing everything, but you're letting black mold take over.
Yeah, refocusing that negative energy into inward instead of,
Yeah.
Well, just a bummer. Just too bad. What we'd like to do now to honor my son is show a little retrospective, a video montage of some of his, because he was such a good actor. I know you guys got a chance to see him in some stuff, and he was an actor and a model, and he was going to go on to do such great things. I know it in my heart. And let's take a look at that now. This beautiful clip put together by the On Cinema team. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the first ever appearance on television of Tom Cruise Heidecker, my son. Tom? Maybe one day he'll become an agent like Jack Decker. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that. What do you think of that, Greg, in terms of where would he have gone as an actor?
We had some scenes in episode 18 of Decker versus Dracula that he was going to do with Joe Estevez, President Davidson, that were going to be a bit of a stretch for him, and I felt very confident he would have been able to nail the scenes if he had lived to do them and if the show hadn't been canceled.
Well, thank you for saying that. I want to share this with you guys. I got this. We got this as a gift for Tom. and that was going to be just a little something that he was going to wear. I thought this would have been good for the funeral, but we didn't end up doing an open casket funeral, so you don't do that with kids under a certain age. So we just put him in there with nothing on, in his birthday suit, actually. Just quickly do the movies for this week. And I didn't get to see these, but Greg, maybe you have.
to do Popcorn Classics this week. I'm fine with skipping it.
Rings, directed by Javier Gutierrez, acted by Amy Teagarden, Johnny Galecki, Laura Wiggins. It's a Ring horror movie. I check that out. Directed by the Sea, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt. You like Brad Pitt, Greg?
Very much.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. We haven't seen them in movies since Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't get a chance to see that either. I've been dealing with funeral arrangements.
I saw it. It was very good.
5 bags.
Yeah, you
Right.
should see it.
There you go. I'll give it a 5-bag review too. Oh man, I don't know if we should have done this. But I think by talking about it, getting it out, you kind of get a chance to heal. You get a chance to put share. First of all, share with the On Cinema audience, who's obviously going to be feeling hard about this, and just reflect on life and wonder maybe there's a master plan out there. I don't know. You were saying something beautiful at the service that kind of blew me away.
Well,
Can't remember most of it, but
like when a bolt of lightning strikes in the forest,
it's just a bolt of lightning.
and some of the trees burn down, and you just kind of let the fire burn, and some of the trees end up standing.
And we're standing today in honoring Tom Cruise. I want to end with a song I wrote for my son. It's a dedicated song to him, and we're just going to play it. And it's rough, so give us a benefit of the doubt. We just kind of worked it out with Axiom not too long ago, and who knows? It might end up on the record. We don't know. It's coming from my heart, so if you got a problem with that. Guys, hear that okay?
That's awesome.
Sounds good? Emma, here we go. Well, my heart is broken, and it's turned to black, and my future seems so uncertain, 'cause he ain't coming back. 2, 3, 4, time it. Farewell, Tom Cruise. Miss you, son, and I wish you well. Farewell, Tom Cruise. Miss you, son, you ain't coming back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Farewell, Tom Cruise. I miss you, son, and I wish you well. Farewell, Tom Cruise. I miss you, son, you ain't coming back to me now. He ain't not coming back. He ain't coming back. He ain't coming All right. Thank you. That was for On Cinema. Thank you very much for watching this season. See you back here next year for more season of On Cinema. And thanks for your condolences. That'll be it for the show. Thank you guys for doing that. Thank you. We got some coffee and desserts and stuff for the funeral. If you guys want to grab some stuff, we got a bunch of egg ziti, calzones and stuff like that. Sure, let's get Japanese food. Ugh. Hey.
nice idea for this. I'm not saying like as a B-side. The success that Tears Net.
Yeah, right.
We
totally.
can get
right.
connected with the story.
It has probably that vibe. Like, I guess we should track it. Like,
Yeah, but I just don't want the chorus to get too heavy. I feel like it's too upbeat.
it's got to be a great song. Right?
Yeah, I want to just record it now.
yeah,
so
I know.
we-
I know
So we
you-
can don't lose that energy.
Yeah, totally. We
Lyrically,
do.
it's
I mean,
it's ready.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.